As our society moves forward with cultural changes, more and more people have become open minded to the idea of not only tattoos, but teens who have tattoos. According to ShouldITattoo.com, almost a third of all people ages 16 to 25 have tattoos. Every tattoo comes with its own story, whether it be a symbol of trust or a drunk night out. With this in mind, we took to our own hallways of DGS to find out how many of our own Mustangs are inked up.
I've always loved tattoos. I think they're really cool. It's just a different way to like express yourself, and I'm all about like that artsy life. So I just think it's a cool way to like put a permanent piece of artwork on yourself. My tattoo represents like my mom and I's bond. It's two tulips like intertwined, and my mom and I are like super super close. She's like basically my rock, but I didn't want a tattoo of a rock, so we got something pretty.
I actually was 14. I did it myself, which is a big no-no. Like, don't do that. But yeah, I was really young. I started getting them professionally done. It was mostly because my freshman year of high school was pretty rough. I struggled with, self-harm, which is stupid, but so I had a lot of scars that I wanted to cover up, and that just seemed like the best way to do it. So that way I'm looking at something pretty instead of hating myself.
Because to be honest, my friends thought that I wouldn't do it because like I don't like pain or like needles or anything. So it was kind of like a bet. So like when I got there, I was gonna chicken out, but then I was like, I'll just do it. So.
I have at this point upwards of probably about 65 hours of tattooing. Kind of early on, I got smaller ones, right? Kind of one session tattoos, and then as I've gotten older, I've done more like pretty large pieces that take, some cases 15, 20, 25 hours to complete the tattoo. So those spaces became much more valuable when my pieces got larger. So I started my back piece when my dad first got diagnosed with cancer as kind of part of my own personal kind of struggle or healing. And I worked on it for a couple of years when my dad was really sick, and then when I eventually lost my dad, I kind of took a break on it for about 2 years, and I actually just started to work on it again.
So, well, I have two. So I have this one right here, which is a dogwood flower on a branch for my grandfather when he worked at Indiana University for 40 years, just about, maybe a little more, and when he retired, he had a dogwood tree planted in his name, and then he passed away from Alzheimer's in 2005. And then this is the first one that I got, it's called a Kokopelli, which is a native Navajo deity for fertility, healing, good luck. And my parents lived in Arizona for a long time, so when they moved to here, they brought a lot of that culture with them, so it's always been in my family.
I decided after I had been a librarian for 10 years that I wanted something that represented like librarianship because I really love the job and it's like a part of who I am. And so I decided that is what I'm going to finally get a tattoo of. And people have always said like, when you get old, skin sags, but you know what, like, yeah, all skin sags, like that's what happens. So what difference does it make whether you have a tattoo on it or not? Yeah. My daughter draws a lot, and she did this one of a cat that I really, really liked a lot. It was this really nice design. So I took it, and I asked her, I said, would you be okay if I got a tattoo of this? And I brought it to my artist, and she kind of cleaned it up a little bit and put some shading on it, and yeah, she put it on my leg.
Society is becoming more accepting of people who decide to get a tattoo, and the old stereotypes against tattooed people are gradually becoming eradicated. A study done by Statistic Brain indicates that 43% of those who decide to get a tattoo have a meaning behind their choice of artwork, therefore defying the previous idea that tattoos are meaningless.
I think tattoos are literally just an artistic expression and not like a sign that you're in a gang. Like my two tulips definitely doesn't mean I'm in a gang, so. I was never like looked down upon because of the fact that I was into tattoos or now have a tattoo. I just don't think that it's a big deal, and I think people are coming around to tattoos in general.
Preconceived notions would probably be that we're reckless, or we don't think about what we're doing first, or that we're ignorant and we're going to regret it one day, and that it's silly and our tattoos don't mean anything, which is true when you're drunk getting a tattoo, but I mean, for people like me, it's a lot lot more than just getting ink in you. When I first got the one on my leg finished, I wore shorts to the grocery store, and this little, like, old Italian lady, like, started yelling at me. I don't know exactly what she was saying, but she kept pointing at it, so I'm assuming it's about the tattoo. Yeah, and my grandma hates it. Oh well.
You know, the thing with tattoos is they're becoming much more prevalent, much more kind of acceptable in society, right? And in saying that, there's still this very clear line between like having a couple tattoos and being what I refer to as like tattoo, right? People don't really bat an eyelash at them anymore. They might recognize them, but they don't really tend to give a ton of focus on them. Whereas when you cross a line where you are like heavily tattooed, there definitely are still, I guess we'd call it like preconceived notions involving those tattoos, right? So
I think that it kind of depends on some of the tattoos. Some people might think some are tasteful. Some might think some are like trashy. Like my mom, for example, she's not even though she has tattoos, she says that it depends on some tattoos, like how they look and stuff. So yeah.
I think that people are more accepting of them. Like for instance, I was really scared about asking my parents if I could get this tattoo, because I had heard my parents say like I have a bunch of ear piercings as well, and like they were like, that's fine, but like don't get any tattoos. So I was a little bit scared about asking them, but I went to my mom first and I was like, hey, like hear me out, like would you be okay with me getting a tattoo? And she kind of freaked out at first, but like once I told her the whole entire, like the meaning behind it and what it was and like where it was and how small it was, like she was like okay with it, and she was like almost in tears. She's like, that's so like cute, like I like like I love that idea. And I was actually like more scared of what my dad would say, because I felt like he was more like conservative in that idea, I guess. And he was actually a lot more open to it than my mom even was, and like he listened to my entire point and was like, okay, like that's fine. So I think that even like as a society, even like people who are older, who are younger, are becoming a lot more accepting of tattoos. I haven't really like been subjected to all of these like stereotypes yet, because people like haven't seen it, or like it hasn't been summer, so I haven't like worn a swimsuit, so you can't see it yet. But when I have told people about it, like most of them are like, oh, and like then they like listen to like the meaning and they're like, oh, that's really nice. Like I've even like told someone like my like teachers that I'm close to, and they like kind of like freaked out at first, but then I explained it and they're like, I actually really like that. That's really nice. Yeah.
It was mainly positive, people admiring how beautiful the artwork was. But there have been quite a few people, not just my friends, that they'll go over, they'll pick up your arm and they'll just kind of move you around because they think you're a piece of artwork. So they'll move you around just to look at you, and it's kind of unsettling at points, but that admiration kind of like, it feels good after a while.
After the first, tattoos can get addicting, and many TGS students who already have tattoos plan on getting at least one more in the future.
I am planning on getting like 20 more tattoos. Eventually I want a sleeve and like everything covered in tattoos. Yeah.
In the future I want one, but like since I might be in like corporate America or whatever, and like my mom, she doesn't want me to like go too crazy with the tattoos, I might get some, but like hidden in like different spots and stuff.
If I did get more, I would definitely get it in like a concealed place where like I can like hide it for like job interviews or anything in the future. It would probably have to mean a lot to me. Like this one does mean a lot to me, so that's why I got it.
I actually have enough money to get another one through here. So, and then I'm gonna get one here and here. I'm just gonna be one of those moms.
They just become addicting after one or two, and you just really want to keep getting more. But I need to wait because I don't have any money to get another one right now. So.
Even though many people who get tattoos have a reason and meaning behind it, typically there is a fear of regret in the future. Statistic Brain conducted a survey which shows that 70% of people who got tattoos later ended up regretting their decision. And according to the historyoftattoos.com, 5% end up covering their previous tattoo with another.
I don't believe I'll ever regret this tattoo, since it means so much to me. It's like a piece of my mom and then like me, and it's a memory that I'll always have. So unless there was some big fiasco where my mom and I just like hated each other and it was just like, then like, I won't regret this tattoo.
I do worry that I will regret ones that I get after the 3 that I have. I don't think I'll regret the ones I have right now though. So.
I would never say I've regretted a tattoo. I mean, again, I've covered tattoos with other things that are more meaningful or just, bigger or I needed the space for it. But no, I've never gotten a tattoo and then been like, why did I get that tattoo? I think because I have so many, that at this point they all they connect to some story or something that, kind of a transition or a growth that I've gone through personally. So even ones that I'm not like, super excited about or, they're still important to me because of that kind of journey I've gone through with kind of my tattoo collecting, basically.
It has a lot of meaning behind it, and like my friend and I, like, we've been friends forever, and that's not gonna change. And just like having a little bit of each other with each other, if that makes sense, I feel like that's very meaningful to me. And like just having this with me, like it just like it's a lot more meaning than a lot of people realize. So
But when the needle starts going, I think that's when you're most vulnerable to feel, man, is this really what I want? This is gonna be on me forever. But I know since these are so personal to me and that those things will never ever go away, that I know that that's something that I'll hold on to forever and I won't regret.